Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. Today, we're beginning a powerful courtroom moment in a serious criminal case, as the court hears directly from a family member affected by the crime. The courtroom is brought to order as the witness is formally sworn in. She is placed under oath, promising to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. The judge then asks her to clearly state her full name for the record, spelling both her first and last name. She identifies herself as Valeria Willett. With the courtroom listening closely, the judge asks her a simple but weighty question. What would you like to say today? Valeria begins by thanking the court for allowing her the opportunity to speak, signaling that what follows is deeply personal and long overdue. What do you think she's about to share with the court, and how will her words impact the case moving forward?
It's been a while, and I'm very thankful, and whatever I'm going to read is what I lived for almost 3 years. The brutal murder that took place on August 7th, 2023 has forever changed my life, my husband's, and my children's life. I am still in shock and traumatized because of this unbelievable act from someone who is selfish and heartless. About a week after Jonathan's murder, we came across a huge responsibility of taking in 2 young girls who we didn't know, and due to the circumstances, we couldn't say no when all others say they couldn't. My life has changed since the notification of my stepson's death. With us taking in 2 girls with us taking 2 girls in our home and getting to know them and not knowing of all the trauma they previously had after the murder, even more trauma was added. It has been a tough 2.5 years for all my family. Grieving has been hard at home, since there were times when I needed to break down and cry, but I couldn't because we had 2 girls who depended on our strength. Along came caseworkers, CASA, Boys Towns, and CAP attorneys who visit our home several times a month. This doesn't include the process of getting fingerprinted, classes to be able to assist the girls while with us, and therapy for them and myself, husband on a weekly basis. The girls did not have discipline, boundaries, basic cleanliness, social skills, and proper hygiene. The clothing they brought from Child Haven was unfit for anything except playtime. I contacted their stepfather/brother, Davier, to see if we could pick up more clothing, and those were not much better. We ended up spending a lot so they could look presentable when in school and out in the community with us. We also had to deal with Casey, our daughter, who was in senior year and fell into depression, making it hard for her to be in school and caused a lot of absences. It was a huge change in her life, having to deal with 2 young girls with so much trauma, and Casey graduated in June of 2024. It has been very hard on us since no other relative has assisted us in caring for the girls, only my immediate family members, which are my adult children. We have now built a relationship with Aunt Kayla, the killer's sister. She stopped by while she was in Las Vegas on business, and we had a great conversation, and she departed as a supportive aunt. Because of this meeting, the girls have changed their minds of what kind of person she is. We will continue to nurture this relationship with Aunt Kayla and the girls. Through Jonathan, we have gained a true friend who has supported us, especially me. We grieve together, and Bernadette has also lost a best friend. We talk, cry, and express our sorrows about how a person was taken away so brutally. We cannot bring Jonathan back. God has gained an angel in heaven. We believe he is watching over us and the girls. I ask today for justice for our family, especially the girls, because we have been sentenced for life with this tragedy. This will follow them for the rest of their life. We've created a time capsule for them in therapy where they can place notes or items that they can open in the future to remember their journey. We will never again hear his voice, his laughter, or see his expression. Jonathan doesn't have a second chance. His life has been taken, never to return to us. The girls have been left without a dad, stepfather / brother who doesn't make contact with them, and a mother who's in jail. After my marriage of 14 years, I have come to know Jonathan.
She tells the court that even though they were not especially close, Jonathan's presence still mattered deeply. She remembers his jokes, his laughter, and his sense of humor. She recalls how he would visit during holidays and how those moments together, now gone, meant more than words can express. As her statement comes to an end, she thanks the court for allowing her to speak. Then, with clear resolve, she makes her request unmistakable. She asks for the strongest possible penalty, stating that the person responsible for ending Jonathan's life should never be free again. The judge responds with appreciation, thanking her for being there and for having the strength to address the court.
You do solemnly swear the testimony you are about to give in this action shall be the truth, the full truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name, spelling your first and last name for the record.
James Willett, Jameswillette.
And sir, what would you like to say to me today?
I have a prepared statement that I would like to have you listen to.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
May I have a seat?
Sure.
Your Honor, I must apologize as I'm uncertain of the appropriate name to use. Tracy Reed, Tracy Tavares, Tracy Baker, Devin Michaels, Nikki, or Nikki Fairchild. But for clarity in this context, I will refer to her as the killer and murderer of my son Jonathan. This horrendous murder crime has affected her two precious children, myself, my wife and my children in the household, my wife's mother, my wife's brother and sisters and their families, my ex-wife and her boyfriend, my remaining son, my grandson who married her, his mother and family, her parents along with her sister's family, and anyone who knows us or were friends with Jonathan. We have all been given a life sentence by a woman who doesn't respect life. She has removed from our lives my son, her daughter's father, her daughter's stepbrother, and all related individuals that were just mentioned. The enduring loss of opportunities to communicate with Jonathan, witness his achievements, and provide guidance is permanent. This absence is not limited to life without parole. It is not replaceable. Each day serves as a reminder of this lasting impact which will persist indefinitely. Regardless of the duration of her sentence, we continue to experience an ongoing sense of loss that will endure throughout our lifetimes. Our circumstances remain unchanged, and correspondingly, there should be no alteration to hers. As we grapple with the magnitude of what has been lost, we find ourselves thrust into unfamiliar roles and responsibilities, forced to adapt and preserve in the face of relentless adversity. The routines we once knew have vanished, replaced by an ongoing quest to provide love, safety, and guidance for young lives so suddenly uprooted. Our whole household has become a place of both deep sorrow and determined resilience as we navigate the labyrinth of legal proceedings, therapy appointments, and daily challenges that arise from the tragedy of this scale.
The family explains that their grief does not exist in isolation. Every day, they are forced to balance their own devastation with the responsibility of fiercely advocating for their grandchildren. Ensuring the children's emotional and physical needs are met has become a constant obligation, even as they struggle under the weight of their own loss. Despite how overwhelming these circumstances are, they tell the court they remain committed to healing and to justice. That determination is driven by a deep sense of duty to honor Jonathan's memory and to protect the well-being of the children he loved most. With this level of responsibility placed on grieving family members, how do you think the justice system should weigh the long-term impact on the children left behind?
The tragic passing of my son, Jonathan, has had a profound impact on many individuals, including his two beloved children, his mother, our family, all relatives, the killer's parents and sister, as well as friends and acquaintances of his. We have all received an extreme life sentence, not a 15-year to life term. We have no parole. We just the knowledge and the heartbreak of his loss. Life has taken away my son, her daughter's father, her daughter's stepbrother, who is also her husband, and all others mentioned. The opportunity to communicate with my son, appreciate his life, witness his achievements, and provide support through advice is permanently lost. Every day we are reminded of this irreversible consequence. Nothing will change in 15 years, 20 years, or even our lives. Regardless of any duration served by the killer, Jonathan will not be returned to us. His actions are permanently ceased, and his voice will remain silenced forever. We are enduring a lifelong impact until the end of our days. This situation remains unchanged for us and thus should remain equally unaltered for the killer. We are consistently reminded of the serious impact of the killer's action on her life. Each day, the killer's daughters wake up to the reality that their father is no longer part of their lives, preventing them from sharing any experiences or creating memories with him. They experience significant long-term effects due to growing up without parental support, relying on grandparents, relatives, and others for assistance during a limited period before achieving independence. We are optimistic that they will understand they are not responsible for these circumstances and their future choices will help them avoid entering this system. Despite this, they will carry the burden of their mother's actions, knowing she has effectively removed both parents from their lives. These events have left two young lives facing significant challenges in their futures following the loss of their father due to her mother's actions. The recent events have been particularly traumatic for our family, especially for the children. My wife and I have attended classes to assist in raising our granddaughters and addressing their trauma. We are supported by caseworkers, CAP attorney, CASA worker, Boys Town worker, therapists, special school classes, coaches, and the daily challenges resulting from the loss of both parents. This situation has impacted everyone involved. We have observed changes in attitudes of our relatives and friends due to this event. Both my wife and I have consulted a therapist for support, which has been beneficial, though the issue remains prominent in our lives every day. We have attended numerous court dates related to both the murder trial and the cases involving the child abuse and termination of parental rights. The significant time spent traveling, communicating with district attorneys, and enduring the anticipation of trial outcomes has severely impacted our mental health and well-being. Such experiences are immensely challenging, particularly when one child is tragically taken by murder, as Jonathan has. As a retiree, I anticipated enjoying my golden years, but now my wife and I find ourselves responsible for raising preteen once again. It is essential to emphasize that while we deeply care for the girls and are concerned about their future, proper medical care and dedicated personnel can help ensure they lead normal lives. We are making notable progress with Janaea, who is determined to improve her life and situation. Despite holding 3 licenses,
The family explains that they completed foster kinship placement, relative foster home approval, advanced foster care training, and professional caregiver pre-service courses. These steps were taken to better understand and respond to the trauma their granddaughters have endured. They tell the court the children had never experienced consistent, loving discipline or normal social interaction. Because they were homeschooled and largely isolated, the girls lacked everyday experiences with peers, structure, and boundaries, making the transition into stability even more challenging.
consequently, there is a significant lack of etiquette in social environments and personal interactions with peers and friends. This is especially difficult for us in a family setting or gatherings on special occasions. Throughout this difficult and painful experience, our resilience has been tested beyond measure as we navigate the complexities of the judicial system and endeavor to provide a stable environment for our granddaughters amid relentless adversity. The emotional and practical burdens we bear have transformed our daily existence, challenging us to find strength in one another and in support systems available to us. Despite the constant reminders of the loss and the enduring pain etched in every aspect of our lives, we strive to foster hope for the future of our grandchildren, advocating for their safety, well-being, and justice in the wake of such irreparable harm. We have faced countless obstacles in our efforts to piece together a sense of normalcy, persistently navigating bureaucratic hurdles and emotional turmoil. Every aspect of our daily existence has been altered. Every future plan reshaped by consequences of a single unforgivable act. The weight of responsibility continues to rest heavily upon us as we advocate for justice and stability, not only for our own heart, but for most importantly, for Jonathan's children whose futures have been so deeply scarred. We are requesting, per Marcy's law, the Senate Joint Resolution SJR Section 1, letter G, to reasonably notice of all public proceedings, including delinquency proceedings, upon request at which the defendant and the prosecutor are entitled to be present, and all parole or other post-conviction release proceedings, and to be present for all of these proceedings. Section N, to be informed of all post-conviction proceedings, to participate and provide information to the parole authority, to be considered before the parole of the offender, and to be notified upon request of the parole or other release of the offender.
The statement then turns to victims' rights under the law. Specifically, Section P requests that any money or property collected from the offender be applied first to court-ordered restitution for the victim and the victim's family. This request emphasizes accountability not just in sentencing, but in ensuring that restitution is prioritized for those who have suffered the greatest loss. Should financial restitution ever be able to reflect the true cost of a life taken, or is it only a symbolic measure of justice?
As we move forward, it remains imperative that the lifelong consequences endured by our family, and especially our grandchildren, who will endure this crime for many years, are gone, are met with unwavering commitment to accountability and truth. The emotional scars, the logistic obstacles, and the persistent sense of emptiness cannot be erased. But through steadfast support and continued vigilance, we hope to honor Jonathan's memory and instill a sense of security and justice for his daughters. We deeply care for our grandchildren and find it challenging to come to terms with the actions taken by their mother, both regarding our lives and more significantly those of her children. The impact of this trauma may have lasting life on them. For instance, there is uncertainty who will accompany them during important events such as walking them down the aisle, at their weddings, graduations, birthdays, etc. There are moments in life when one must pause to reflect on one's circumstances. We examine all the known facts and attempt to understand them. The court hearings related to both the termination of parental rights and the criminal case. This planned and calculated murder, and remind it was planned and calculated, is not justified in any way or manner, and the killer needs to be incarcerated for the rest of her life. We respectfully request that the maximum penalty behind bars without parole be imposed for this heinous crime. We consider the act of killing and decapitating the father of the killer's children and husband to be egregious and extremely severe and should be met with extremely severe punishment. We trust in the wisdom of the court to recognize the full impact of these actions on all parties involved and to deliver a resolution that both acknowledges the depth of our loss and upholds the principles of justice upon which our faith now rests. Thank you for providing me the opportunity to share my perspective on this criminal murder. I now defer to your judgment on this murder case.
Thank you, sir, and thank you very much for being here today.
As this case moves forward, one truth remains undeniable. The consequences of this crime are permanent. A life was taken, and the emotional, psychological, and practical impact will follow this family, especially the children, for the rest of their lives. The loss cannot be undone, the scars cannot be erased, and the absence will be felt at every milestone that should have included a father. The family has asked the court for accountability, for truth, and for justice that reflects the severity of what was done. They believe this was a planned and calculated act, one that demands the maximum penalty under the law, not out of anger, but in recognition of the irreversible harm caused to so many lives. This case now rests with the court, tasked with weighing the evidence, the impact, and the law to reach a just outcome. If you found this courtroom breakdown important, make sure to subscribe for more real legal cases and trial coverage. Like the video if you believe these stories deserve to be heard, and comment below with your thoughts. Do you think justice, in cases like this, can ever truly be enough?